Jane, Merry Christmas to you and your family. As I was thinking about you and our family, I've got a few little stories that I'd like to tell. The one thing that has always impressed me is that Grandma Leishman would come over and sit in the chair while Mom would make donuts or butter horns or whatever. And just about every time she'd come over, she'd say, "Letha, you should have a girl." And Grandma Leishman passed away, and shortly thereafter you were born. As if with angel wings. You came into our life, into our home, and Dee and Letha received so much joy because of you, and Grandma finally had somebody that talked the same language as her. Those first memories were very special to me most of the time, except the times when I had to babysit you all the time. But you brought joy and happiness to both of them. And of course, you and Blakey were spoiled rotten. No question about that. Very quickly, I don't know, a few years, and we were booted out of the big bedroom next to the bathroom, because that was Jane's room. And the four boys ended up in the back bedroom. And then I ended up in the backyard in a tent. So I don't know if that was a positive thing or not. But you did bring a lot of joy into our family. and us boys needed to have a baby sister. And we so enjoyed those early days. Those camping trips where Mom had made a little cradle that went in the back behind the seats in one of their old beat up Chevys, Fords, Dodges, whatever he could find at the junkyard. Terrible cars. Until you guys got a little bit older and me and Stephen and Rod had pretty well moved out. Then he finally got a few nicer cars. I remember lots of pictures that were taken of our family about that time. And us boys were quite a bit bigger. Jane, you were, I think, about 10 years younger than me. You can't remember the coal stove, having no bathroom, no natural gas, and and the pigs. We had pigs in the backyard. We had chickens that we processed every year. And quickly, very quickly after the war, all that changed. And for the better, that's for sure. And then I can remember going on my mission and coming home and seeing my little baby sister becoming a young woman, and being a part of the marching band and different friends, and sitting down with me as I played Neil Diamond on the old tape recorder, Patsy Cline, and some of the other songs that were my favorites at that time. You have to remember that I was the oldest girl, but you were always the youngest daughter. And we had so many, many good times. So many, many good meals. And as a boy, sometimes I regretted it when I had to serve at the Lions Club and wash dishes after a banquet. But there would always be Marge Coleman and Bernice and all these girls that bonded together during the war as they waited for husbands and friends to come home. I remember when you took that course at SAIT or Mount Royal, I'm not sure what course you took. It was, I think, nurse's aid course. And I remember you and Kyla and Diane and Melanie, I think all of you had gone to a show. I don't know how you got there, but it was clear over at Market Mall, clear on the other side of the city almost. But coming home, you guys all wanted to go to Peter's. And so we stopped at Peter's and we had milkshakes and fries and hamburgers. And the back seats of my car or the van, I'm not sure whether it was the van or the car, were loaded with these girls eating all this food. And by the time I got to the hill on Memorial Drive that went down to Deerfoot and then back up, everything was ate except my milkshake and my hamburger and my fries. And I think you girls were just about ready to eat it too, but I quit. I made you quit. But these were good times, great times. And and I know that Mom and Dad were so very happy that you came along and blessed our family. And I think that's about it. I didn't think I'd be quite as emotional as I am. But God bless you guys and Merry Christmas. Greg.
Hi, Jane. This is your brother, Stephen. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Andy wanted one word to describe you. I think the one word is Dad. You kind of remind me of Dad. He's very patient, and so are you. Just no guile, just easygoing, and you definitely got that trait from him. And a story that influenced my life, or how you influenced my life. I remember one time I was 16 years old, just got my driver's license, and there was you and I think 3 friends had to go to Lethbridge for swimming lessons or something. And Mom said it was our turn, and so she said, you drive the girls into Lethbridge on a wintry day, a 16-year-old. So we went in and took you to Lethbridge, but on the way back by the Hutterite colonies, the roads were icy, and the car started doing 360s down the highway. And I'm sure it was the prayers of you and those screaming girls that were in the back seat that saved us that day. Because it wasn't just one time, it was 2 or 3 times down the middle of the highway. And I've always remembered that story and thinking, like, when my kids were young, there was no way that I would send my kids, a 16-year-old with 3, I think you must have been 13 or something like that. But that's just one story. But you're a special girl, well, you are the only sister, and so we appreciate all that you do, and you just have a Merry Christmas. Love, Shelley and Stephen.
Hi, Jane. It didn't take me long to think of a word that would describe you, and that is kind. You are a very, very kind person, and I can remember when I first met you two that you and the Johnson twins would get together and you'd come talk to me, and you girls were such giggly little girls at that time, but you all wanted to come and meet me, but through the years, every time you've seen me, you've come up and you've given me a big hug, and you've made me feel very welcome into your family. And something that's probably that you've influenced me with throughout your life, I guess, is your steadiness in your testimony and in the gospel. For one thing, you went to Costa Rica with your husband, and I just don't want to go there because there's those snus crawling around, and that's scary to me. So I think you're brave, but I also think you're pretty brave to go off onto Spain and where you didn't know the language, and to spend almost 2 years there, and to do missionary work there. And I think that's brave of you. And I saw your testimony grow there, and then you went to Toronto, and you've just been a real special person to me that way in the gospel, and I'm grateful for that. And it was always nice that we could share that with our children, that Auntie Jane and Uncle Andy have gone on a mission, and you've set that good example for them, and I thank you for that, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas.
Hello, Jane. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all you and yours. Teddy and I would like to wish all people in Canada a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas. Andy told me to think of one word that is Jane. I says, wonderful. Now, we got to sing something like, good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen. All the snow lay round about, crisp and deep and even. Bye-bye. Love you.
Hi there. Just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and let you know how much we love you. I just wanted to let you know that some of my favorite memories of us together was going shopping and window shopping, as well as you and I definitely singing along in the car, and just the time that we've had together, just you and me. Well, have a Merry Christmas, Mom. We love you.
Merry Christmas, Grandma. Love you to the moon and back.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Mom. So if I'm thinking about things that are special memories that we've had, for some odd reason, it's probably just because Christmas is coming up, because there's so many that I could choose from. But I just have a million memories of us laying in your bed and talking. And I think that's probably some of my favorites, is just chatting with you and hearing your thoughts and hearing your feedback and how much you care about my life and how much I care about your life. So much of my life is intertwined with yours, and yeah, you're my best friend, and in so many ways you bring out so many good things in me, and you inspire me to be better and to be kinder and to think before I speak. And I'm just so unbelievably grateful for you and the decisions that you've made, and for the generosity of who you are. You're an incredibly kind, warm, loving person, and in all of our travels and all of our adventures and all of our moments together, I'm just incredibly grateful for someone like you in my life. Yeah, thanks for being my mom. Love you.
So, Mom, I was thinking a lot about this, and sorry I'm getting a little bit congested, but Mom, the one word that describes you is kind of like the old word modar, and I just wanted to let you know that it's an old word that describes a mother, and I just want to appreciate all that you do. You showed me love in any ways, and no matter if we're falling apart as kids or we're struggling, and or even just going through and speeding, some of us. I know that when we were younger, we gave you a hard time. I remember the straight moment of giving you such a hard time that we broke the wooden spoon, and I would laugh at you, but I felt very bad about that, and I still do. I just want to know that I love you very much. I know that this is a special time of year, and we recognize our Savior Jesus Christ, but also his mother, Mary. And I just want to recognize you and say I love you, and I appreciate all you do. Love you, Mom.
All right, this is for Mom. So if I could describe her in one word, it would be selfless. Jane, or Mom, you are the most selfless person I have ever met. You sacrifice and give up your time, your own desires, your energy. You are just so selfless, and I am in awe of that. My favorite memories of you are our conversations that we've had when you vented a little bit about marriage frustrations, because I feel like I could relate to it. But my favorite one was when Jared and I were first married, and he didn't think that you and Dad have ever fought or argued in your marriage. And I remember being like, I'm pretty sure they've had disagreements. And then you told me the story about you and Dad arguing over a party you got invited to, and you wanted to bring, I forget, some kind of appetizer or something, and you guys were arguing and got in a disagreement about budgeting. And I just remember thinking that was so funny. And what do you mean to me? I am really grateful. There's a lot of people who are married and don't like their in-laws, but I honestly can say I love my mother-in-law. So I love you, Mom, and I think so highly of you, and I'm so grateful that I have you in my life.
Hi, Grandma. She's happy. She's a good girl with her tablet, and I love that she's my grandma. Bye.
Hello, this is your son, Mark. So, a word that describes Mom would be comforting. And my favorite memory of Mom is when she came over when I was really super sick when I was at my house, and she came in and I was dying, and she came in and made sure I was okay and alive and made me soup. She made me feel so much better. And Mom is important because I feel better around her, and she just feel good. And Mom means the world to me. She makes me smile just thinking of her, especially when I'm teasing her. It's a key point. Definitely makes me laugh inside, and yes, she makes me smile and she makes me feel warm. Love you.
Hi, Mom. What can I say? That for the last 2 months, you have been very patient with me and helped me through this time in my life. Just wanted to say thank you for everything. Probably the fondest memory I have is with you, me, and B, and we were driving, and me and B were just acting crazy and dancing like funny maniacs every single time when you stopped the car and other past drivers could see us. And then you just finally joined in and started playing around with us. It's just a memory that I always can think of when I think, what's my favorite memory of Mom? It's just, you just went with the flow. Yeah. I love you, and thank you for everything you've done for me.
Hey, Mom. Merry Christmas. So I'm actually giving the kids a bath right now. And, you know, Dad messaged us, and he's telling us to tell you a bunch of things that make you really important to us. And, yeah, I'm just thinking here, listening to my kids play in the bath and thinking about those times where you would come hang out with me in the bath when I was a little one. And it's kind of like a weird thing, but like I really remember those times, like having baths with you, and they were just so special to me and like very I don't know, very maternal, and yeah, they were really important to me. And a word that I think really represents you in my eyes is loyalty. Like you've always been a constant support to me, even when it seemed really like not natural to you to support me, and maybe in some ways, but like you've always just had my back. in like maybe not in the obvious ways. Yeah, I just hope you know how much you mean to me and how much you have created the person that I am. And maybe it's not always obvious to you, but like I see myself in you all the time. Another memory I was thinking about is like more of like a general memory. It's like of you reaching out your hand to hold mine, and it's like you kind of like go like this. And I do that to my kids now. I'm like, come on, like hold my hand. And that's just like a really fond memory I have, just like of you just wanting me and loving me. And yeah, anyways, I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas day, and I wish I was there giving you kisses and forcing hugs on you. And I should go because Brooks is yelling at me. I love you so much.
Hi, Mom. So Dad wanted us to say a couple things about you, and he wanted to know how he would describe you in one word, but I couldn't think of one word. I thought of like 5. So I said you're selfless, loving, funny, and a friend. And he wanted us to tell a little memory of you. And I remember when I was little, if I ever wanted you or to come hang out with me, you just sit on my bed and just talk to me. Even though it was super mundane, or I was just folding laundry or I was organizing my clothes, you would just sit there and talk to me. Even if you had something better to do, you didn't care. You were just always there. And he wanted us to ask what makes you important to us. And I said, everything. You always showed up for me. Even when I didn't want you there, you were always there. And if I ever needed you or I wanted someone to cry on, you were there for me. And you were so loved. And I don't know what I would do without you. And what did you mean to me? You are my world, my friend. And you have shown me how to be the best mother I could possibly be. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have you as my mom. And I probably wouldn't be a great mom myself if I didn't have you as an example.
Growing together, I think, is something that we learned from our first mission. Prior to our first mission, where we served in Spain, we weren't empty nesters. We had always had our kids with us. Even our youngest daughter was living with us before our mission. And so we went on our mission the first time, and it was like, oh, okay, it's a couple now. What do we do? Because it's been a long time. And Elder Kennan and I always work together anyways in everything that we do, so I didn't think it was too much of a problem. Maybe he does, I don't know.
I think Sister Kent has learned more patience. No, I think because now she has to live with me 24 hours a day. And so I think her level of patience has grown exponentially. Like raising 7 children, you'd think she'd have patience. But raising a husband, that's a lot more. And so I think, it's sort of like she has blossomed in our relationship as we've served on a mission. She has truly become what God planned for her to become. No, she's become more compassionate, more patient, more long-suffering. I think long-suffering is a really great word to describe our relationship. And she has just, exemplified all of those qualities that we look for in a woman, in a companion, and in a partner. And I think, because we've had to live with each other for 24 hours. And, in our marriage, that didn't happen in the early years. We've been married for over 40 years, and it's just like, living together for 24 hours a day, that can be a real trial for some couples. But we've survived. And I think that's the blessing.
Good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And, and we can still laugh at each other, cry about each other, but we can still laugh about each other too. And I think that's what relationships are all about. I don't think relationships are ever stagnant. If they're stagnant, there's something wrong with one of the people in that relationship. You want to have a relationship that will go on growing forever.
Into the eternity.
Into the eternities. And you want to be able to sort of, oh, I didn't know that before.
I didn't know that about him or her.
That's right. And you know, it is that part of a relationship, that's what makes a relationship so enriching. That's what makes it so good, so joyous. And I think that's what marriage, that's what partnership, that's what being together is all about. It's just growing together. And I think it's one of the famous lines is, let us grow old together. You know, and it's just like, it is. We're growing old together, but we're doing something together. And that doing something together adds value to our marriage. We're not doing things differently, apart. We're doing it together. And that creates greater unity and a greater oneness in our relationship.
Well, hun, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I really wanted you to know how much people love you. Not just your family, not just me, but people. They think you're wonderful. They know you're wonderful. And they love and appreciate you. You are of incredible worth. And we all want you to know that. And not just in our eyes, but in our Heavenly Father's eyes too. We love you. Merry Christmas. I love you. God bless you for who you are and what you're doing and what you continue to do. Love. That's all I can say. Love you.